Right, so when I was younger, I used to be really bad at public speaking. I was super shy, I never wanted to put myself out there, and I was really terrible at talking to pretty girls. But over time, I've improved at 2 of those things, and so in this video, I'm gonna be giving you my 9 top tips for how to be a better public speaker. Let's get into it. Tip number 1 is get the hell out of your own head. When we're talking in front of people, you know, public speaking is like the biggest fear in the world outside of like spiders or like death or something. But like when we're public speaking, we can often feel like there's all this judgment that's being cast on us and that people are here to judge the things that we're saying. And so it's very easy for us to get into our own heads and to worry about the things that we're saying and to worry about how we're coming across and worry about our body language and whether we're sweating through our top. All of this stuff gets in the way of giving a good talk, giving a good speech. And so for me, whenever I'm giving a speech or even talking to a camera, I always try and remember that it's not about me. The audience does not care about me. They do not give a toss. The audience only cares about themselves. You, the viewer, as much as you like me and care about me, potentially, you actually don't really care about me. You only care about yourself. You care about the hopefully the value that I can provide to you. And therefore, for me to be in my own head worrying about how I'm coming across is kind of counterproductive because it gets in the way of the message that I'm trying to give. And so keeping that in mind, that no one cares about us, get out of our own head and let's make it all about the audience, I find that really helpful. Tip number 2 is to speak through a smile. Now, I'm gonna show you what this looks like before and after I apply this technique. And while doing that, I'm gonna tell you about our sponsor for this video, which is Audible. If you haven't heard by now, Audible is the absolute best place to get audiobooks from anywhere. Audible is probably the single app that's most changed my life. And I often say to people that if I could only have one subscription in the world, it would be a subscription to Audible. Now that's me talking normally without speaking through a smile. Now I'm gonna say basically the same thing, but I'm gonna have a smile on my face while I'm saying it. And hopefully you'll see the effect that it has. So Audible is genuinely one of the most life-changing apps that I've got. I listen to Audible for many hours each day. And these days, now that I'm actually leaving the house a little bit more, I'm going in the car, going on road trips, going on picnics. It's like enjoying my hot girl summer, as it were. I've always got Audible as a companion. These days I'm listening to a book called Unconditional Parenting, which is all about parenting, and it's like really interesting, even though I'm not yet a parent. And so with that, hopefully you'll have seen that when I'm speaking through a smile, hopefully I come across as much more engaging and enthusiastic rather than when I'm talking like this, because I could be saying exactly the same thing. But as soon as I start speaking through a smile, hopefully it just sounds a little bit better. So this is an absolutely fantastic hack for getting better at public speaking. Tip number 3 is to avoid the British Airways mode of speaking. So this is what I mean by the British Airways mode of speaking. If you're looking for a great way to experience audiobooks this summer, then head over to audible.com/Ali Abdaal. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, you'll actually get 53% off your Audible subscription for the next 4 months. This is an incredible deal and it's an absolute no-brainer. So that is my British Airways voice. This is the voice that a lot of us put on, you know, sometimes I call it the primary school teacher voice as well. It's the voice that a lot of us fake put on when we're giving a speech because we're thinking of it as giving a speech. And it's like, when I am giving a speech, I have to talk in this exaggerated sound, sort of like an air hostess or like an announcement on an aeroplane flight would sound. But if you're still watching this, hopefully you realize that that is not the way we want to be speaking. We want to be spoken to. We don't like it when people talk to us in this kind of fashion. And so to get over this like sing-songy British Airways primary school teacher way of speaking, what I try and do is I think of my kind of, when I'm speaking, I'm sort of going downwards. And so if I tell you about Audible while speaking and going down, it might sound something like this. Genuinely, Audible is one of those apps that's most changed my life. I've been listening to fantasy audiobooks for absolutely years now. Since like 2017, I've listened to Audible for around 3 hours a day. Particular favorites of mine are the Mistborn series by Brandon Sanderson, Stardust by Neil Gaiman, also a great public speaker, incredible for listening to if you want to improve your public speaking. But if that sounds up your street, then head over to audible.com/Ali Abdaal. And if you're a Prime member, you'll get 53% off your first 4 months. So that was me talking in not British Airways mode. I was sort of talking in a more matter-of-fact fashion and sort of aiming to go down, rather than talking in a sing-song fashion and aiming to go up at the end of a sentence. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Avoid speaking like a primary school teacher, avoid speaking like a British Airways flight attendant. Be yourself and think and try and speak how you speak when you're around your friends, which is not in this kind of sing-songy kind of fashion. All right, tip number 4 is let your personality shine through. Again, one of the issues that we have when we're public speaking is we think of it as I'm giving a speech, and we don't want to be thinking of it as I'm giving a speech, because then for some reason we feel all stuffy and we feel formal. And you know, even if it's something like a business presentation or a presentation at work, you know, I've given so many presentations at like medical conferences and at teaching sessions in the hospital, and I always try and let my personality shine through and try and be a little bit more casual and a little bit less formal. Like if I'm at a medical conference, even if I'm talking about something really serious, the audience wants a personality. The audience wants banter, they want humor, they want to have a good time. They to an extent, they care about the content of the speech. But broadly, they all just want to have a good time, and they're all just kind of sitting there, kind of sweltering in the heat. I was at a conference in Singapore a few years ago, sweltering in the heat, and they just want to have a good time. And when you let your personality shine through, when you're your own unapologetically weird self, the audience really appreciates that. And so whenever I think of public speaking or speaking in general, I think that I should not stifle the kind of quirky aspects of my personality. Maybe I'll throw in a toilet joke here and there. Maybe I'll reference Harry Potter. Maybe I'll talk about Disney songs or how I was singing in the shower the other day. That kind of stuff sounds a bit trite and trivial right now, but generally it helps my personality hopefully shine through videos and through speaking, ramping that up slightly rather than dampening it down, which is what we're prone to do when we're public speaking. I think that's the way forward. All right, tip number 5 for public speaking is try and add banter and humor and stories to the stuff that you're doing. Again, we're just getting outside of this mindset that I'm giving a speech, therefore I have to be formal and I have to be boring, and instead think that really the only thing the audience cares about is having fun. And so how do we make the audience have fun? We can add jokes, we can add banter, and we can add storytelling. This is not a video about storytelling. Maybe we'll do one in a little while, but fantastic book by one of my friends, Matthew Dix. It's called A Storyworthy. It's absolutely incredible. My favorite book of 2020, and that is basically all about how to tell a better story. And in fact, that's also available on Audible. So head over to audible.com/Ali Abdaal to get your audiobook of Storyworthy by Matthew Dix if you want to learn to be a better storyteller in every way. All right, tip number 6 is don't read from a script. Whenever we're reading from a script, it's going to sound absolutely terrible. Like, there is no way to make reading from a script sound not like reading from a script, because we all go into this reading thing. And we've all seen people, you know, at speeches and stuff where they look down, they've got the notes, and the way they deliver it, it's obvious that they're reading from a script. They automatically go into British Airways mode. This is basically not the way forward. And certainly for me, I find that whenever I'm having to read from a script to make a YouTube video, it's just not fun, and it sounds absolutely terrible, and it takes me absolutely ages to get it right, because I just hate reading from a script. So what I would recommend is, if you're giving a speech, just use some talking points. It's useful to have an outline. It's useful to know how you're going to start and how you're going to finish. And it's useful to know what broad talking points you want to hit. But beyond that, I think there is a degree, like, it's very possible to over-prepare a speech. And as soon as you get into that realm of over-preparing, you're going to sound like you're reading from a script, and that's not going to be particularly engaging. So don't worry about the script, focus on the bullet points. Tip number 7 is to just speak louder. Like, generally, when we're giving a speech, we want to be adding a little bit of energy because people want to have fun. Ultimately, they don't really care about the content, they just want to have fun. And a super easy way of adding energy to whatever we're saying is to just speak a little bit louder. So the way that I think of this is that my normal speaking style is about a 5 out of 10. So this is about a 5 out of 10. This is how I'd be talking normally if I was hanging out with friends. But I'm going to ramp it up to a 7 out of 10 if I'm giving a video. So this is me kind of talking at a 7 out of 10. And certainly if I was doing a speech in public, I'd kind of be talking at this kind of pace, or this kind of loudness rather. So this kind of loudness would be kind of weird if I was sitting across from someone at a coffee table, or if I was at a dinner party. This sort of loudness would probably be a little bit excessive, but it's a YouTube video, I'm giving a speech. Or if I'm giving a speech in public, I would ramp up my loudness to a 7 out of 10 rather than a 5 out of 10, which would be my baseline. All right, tip number 8 is to speak slower and pause more. This is something that I really struggle with. I did a course called Ultra Speaking, which is really good. Link in the video description if you want to check it out. I did a course, and like the main thing that the instructors were telling me on this is that, look, you just need to be more okay with taking time, be more okay with speaking slower, and being more okay to take pauses. Because a pause to the audience does not sound nearly as long as a pause to us. And if I'm actually giving a speech, rather than trying to race through a YouTube video at breakneck speed, the pauses are what allows the audience to appreciate the thing that we've just said. And the guys at Ultra Speaking, the way they talk about it, it's like when we're speaking, like if you imagine a snow globe, when we're speaking, it's like we're shaking up the snow globe. And then when we pause, we're giving time for the snow to settle. So I still kind of suck at this. It's a work in progress, but certainly I found that my speeches and my talking in public becomes more powerful when I'm more confident that I can speak slower and I can take more pauses. Whereas otherwise, the thing that I struggle with is that I'm sort of in my head where I'm like, oh my God, what if what I have to say isn't really valuable? I'm trying to respect people's time. Therefore, I'm gonna race through this as quickly as I can so that they can go on and do something more interesting. But I'm having to kind of rewire my brain into thinking, no, people are here, they want to listen to me, I am providing value, and it's actually better for the audience if I slow down a little bit if I let this snow globe thing settle, and if I take a little bit more pauses. And finally, tip number 9, something that I found helpful is to actually play public speaking games. So again, my friends at Ultra Speaking, they have this Ultra Speaking simulator that gives you lots of interesting games. And so I'll show you what one of these looks like. So this is Triple Step, which is one of my favorite games. And the idea here is that we've got to give a speech about a random topic, and then we've got to incorporate the words that are appearing on screen as they're coming on screen. And this is like kind of hard, but it's also quite fun to do. I enjoy doing this sometimes in my spare time. So I'm gonna do it on the maximum settings. Let's do 30 seconds, integrating 8 words into it, and it's gonna suggest me a title. So let's see what this looks like. The color of life. To be honest, I think the color of life is blue. Blue is my favorite color, and I find that, for example, if I'm running a marathon, I see the blue sky and it really helps me focus. If I roll the windows down in my blue Tesla, again, it allows me to feel the breath in my face, even when I'm going to the toilet, having just been for a round of horse racing. I just feel the color blue everywhere around me. It's sort of like an engine. When you have the perfect color, you can feel as if you're like a Ferrari engine driving down the road. Even if you're like voting for popsicles or, you know, whatever, it's just the color in the sky. It feels like the color of luck. Ugh, that's scary. That's hot. But these sorts of games you can get on Ultra Speaking. They're free. Put a link in the video description if you want to check it out. They're just kind of fun. Good way of improving public speaking. Right, so those were my 9 tips at getting better at public speaking. If you like this video, you might like to check out this video over here, which is the lessons that I've learned from the last 4 years of being a public speaker on YouTube. Those are just general life lessons that kind of being a public figure, D-list celebrity has taught me. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.